Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
A sad moment this morning after another building in the Heidelberg Project goes up in flames. And it's starting to feel a bit like fall, and it should, as it is the first official day of fall on the calendar. Brandon Rue has your forecast. And a 9-year-old boy is fighting for his life this noon in the hospital. He was hit by a truck just after 7 o'clock this morning. Thanks for joining us on this Monday. Now, one man is under arrest, and the boy's mother is also in the hospital with injuries. It all unfolded early this morning along Kelly and Meringue Roads on Detroit's East Side. Local 4's Rod Maloney joins us now live with the story. Rod?
Rhonda, hello. This is Kelly right here. I'm going to show you Meringue, which is going in the other direction here. It was at this intersection right here, and in fact, that far corner. Now, we have an eyewitness who saw this, and he would not go on camera, didn't want to talk on camera at all. But what he said was that the mother and son were looking to cross the street. The light was green, so she held her young son's hand, and then, as little boys do, he kind of led ahead, and she was holding him back. The light turns red. They go to start walking across the street, and then a truck comes barreling up Kelly, and it runs the red light and slams into them both. The initial contact was hard, very hard, and the truck dragged the little boy down the street several yards. The mother was also hit, and the eyewitness says that she suffered leg injuries. The truck's driver, in a red 90s vintage Ford F-150, kept going a few blocks up Kelly and then abandoned his vehicle, and there's a reason. Several eyewitnesses who saw this terrible pedestrian hit and run were so angry they were running up after the truck to get to its driver. Later, police impounded the vehicle and towed it away. When EMS crews arrived, they immediately whisked both mother and son to the hospital. The man behind the wheel, we are told, eventually returned to the scene in another vehicle, and police took him into custody. He's under arrest, being held at the Detroit Detention Facility. Detroit police telling us that man is 52 years old. In the meantime, there's a Citgo station right here, and they have security cameras, and we are told that those security cameras were able to catch the entire accident, the terrible scene, on video. Detroit police have a copy. Reporting live, Rod Maloney, Local 4. So
sad, Rod. And do we know if police believe that that driver may have been under the influence of alcohol or any drugs?
They are not discussing any part of this yet. We're going to have to wait until tomorrow when there's an arraignment to see what kind of charges come along.
In the meantime, our thoughts and prayers are with that son and his mother. Rod, thank you. A man is in custody now after a deadly shooting in Mount Clemens. Just before midnight, a woman called 911 saying that a man broke into her house and shot and killed her boyfriend. Well, it turns out the deputies say the shooter was the woman's former boyfriend. Paula Tutman breaks it all down for us this noon. Paula?
Hi, Rhonda. Yeah, at this hour, Mount Clemens police are building a case against the suspect. As you said, he is in custody. It is likely those charges will amount to first-degree murder. Let's take you to the scene so you can see what's going on right now. We also have video from earlier. So this is Court Street in Mount Clemens. Police, as you said, received a frantic call from a woman in the house who said that someone had kicked in her door, charged into her bedroom, and shot and killed her boyfriend. Police did confirm that 26-year-old Jovan Houston was the victim. He was pronounced dead from multiple gunshot wounds. And for a while, police were on the hunt for the suspect known to be the woman's ex-boyfriend. That suspect has since been picked up by police. He is in custody. Police are building a case. Meanwhile, Jovan's family is understandably devastated.
I feel a great loss right now. And it's a life that it can't be brought back.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing about this that is equally sad, this young man was no stranger to the law because his identical twin brother is a Detroit police officer. Rhonda?
Oh, so sad, Paula. Thank you. Detroit fire investigators are searching for the cause of an early morning fire that killed one person at the St. Joseph Manor nursing home on Cadju and Warren. This is on Detroit's east side. 3 other people were injured. The facility was quickly evacuated, but one patient with severe dementia wandered away. But she was later located sitting inside of an unlocked car about a mile from the nursing home, and she appeared to be uninjured. Another Heidelberg project goes up in flames. The building sits on the corner of Heidelberg and Mount Elliott. Firefighters spent the morning putting out the massive flames. Here's Evrod Cassimy at the scene.
So the fire is out right now, but the investigation into what would have caused it is still ongoing.
Firefighters were still on the scene early this morning after yet another fire at the Heidelberg Project on Detroit's east side. The call came in just after 6 in the morning, right at the corner of Mount Elliott and Heidelberg. The flames could be seen shooting from the building.
Right now it's kind of early to determine exactly what started the fire was. That's why we have arson here, to figure it out. It does appear to be suspicious, but we can't say with certainty.
This is not the first time that a building here has caught fire. In fact, the exact structure has caught fire before.
This one caught on fire maybe about 2 years ago, same building.
What does your gut tell you about the cause?
Well, I've been doing this for a while. It probably is suspicious. And, maybe somebody just got tired of looking at it.
Firefighters tell us the building is a total loss and would need to be demolished. It took crews about 2 hours to put the fire out. In Detroit, Evrod Cassimy, Local 4.
All right, Evrod, thank you. And over the years, we have seen a number of these art exhibits and buildings go up in flames. It's very sad to see, and we'll keep you updated as the investigation continues. Meanwhile, we want to get to Brandon Rue. He's here with a look at our forecast after we celebrated the end of summer and welcomed in fall early this morning.
Get rid of my least favorite season and
my favorite.
I know it's a lot of folks' favorites, but boy, the winds have changed right on time. And unfortunately, those winds with a cool front this morning were really peaking, and we had a couple of big fires around. And so that obviously fuels or fans those flames. Doesn't make it any easier for our firefighters. Right now, still a little breezy. 69 Howell, 69 Lapeer. It is warmer farther east you go with a little more sunshine, 75 over at Metro. You can see the winds basically coming from the west. The little yellow barb points the direction the wind is blowing to. So 10 to 20 mile an hour winds, gusting 20 to 30. And that will be the case here over the next several hours. So if it's garbage day, not really worried about this, but rattling the garbage cans around just a little bit. Middle 70s, and as good as it gets right now, we'll see some cloud cover coming and going. Any rain chances with these winds whipping some clouds off of Lake Michigan, basically up in our north zone, which is what we're seeing here right now. Cooler conditions in the 7 day to come.
All right, Brandon, thank you. Meanwhile, the strike by the United Auto Workers for General Motors continues. It's now entering its second week today with no end in sight. Today is actually the 8th day since the walkout by 49,000 General Motors workers, both here in Metro Detroit and across the country. Negotiations are continuing with GM, but sides are reporting progress. But neither side sees an imminent settlement. Contentious issues remain, including over wages and profit sharing and plans for unallocated factories. The strike has already led to 2 GM plant closings in Canada, and many suppliers face possible shutdowns if the strike drags on. The Wayne County Medical Examiner's Office is working to identify the body of a woman found on the street early today near Cardone and Minnesota Streets near I-75. A medical unit called to the scene pronounced the woman dead. She's believed to be in her early 50s. An autopsy will help determine how she died. So to come here on your Monday at noon, an abrupt shutdown, how one airline closes its doors, leaving hundreds of thousands of passengers stranded in airports. But first, Britain's Prince Harry and wife Meghan Markle just touched down in South Africa. See the welcome they received when we come back.